Sundays, and it is my pleasure and my privilege to welcome to the stage intern Nikki. Come on up here, man. So Nikki, just introduce yourself to the people. Tell them a little bit about what you do at the church, how you found us, what your future plans are at the church. Let everybody who may not know you as well as I know you get to know you a little bit before we get going.
All right. My name is Nikki. I am currently an intern under Connor and Michael.
Hey, one time for Connor and Michael, please. Thank you so much. That's right.
I serve in productions on Sundays, worship on Wednesdays and Thursdays. I just started. And then my plans are to continue serving the people and the church in college.
Attaboy, Nikki. That's good. So we wrote these questions ahead of time. Okay, so if I'm looking at my phone, I'm sorry. But they're good questions. Did you just call me a screenager? If you could go back and talk to sophomore year you on your very first night at youth group, what would you say to yourself?
I would tell myself to stop trying to fit in and really just let God work on me. I came very confused, went to YTH caring about what other people thought about me, what the world thought about me, and really I just wanted to fit in. But looking back, all the moments that changed me stopped whenever I stopped pretending who I was and really showed up my true character. And I'd also tell myself all the growth, friendships, and relationships that I have now happened in YTH and Momentum. So,
That's really good, man. I love that. That's so good. I mean, you talk about your friendships. There would be no J&R without J&R, right? That's right.
Yep.
So you, Jacob, and Randy have become like a little tripod, man. And I love that. I love you. You guys have no idea how influential you guys are to those around you. Okay, I saw this at the highest level 3 years ago when a group of 5 boys decided to buy beaver suits and snowboard down a mountain with them, and the Beaver Boys were born. And it was the first time I saw a friend group change the culture of a youth group. See, we had friends, we had people, but it was the first time there was a group that were all in, and everybody was watching, and they're like, man, why are they so happy and full of joy and worry-free? And it changed the culture of this youth group. So much of this youth group is because of the Beaver Boys. That is such a funny sentence to say. But so much of the culture of this youth group is because of that. And you, Jacob, and Randy are the newest iteration of that. And as graduates, soon to leave this youth group, I pray that the influence y'all have had from the top down has changed the way that the freshmen and the sophomores look at this youth group. Because let's be honest, the world will say it's not cool to go to youth group. We'll call a spade a spade. But then you see friendships and people like y'all, and you're like, well, they are cool, and they're happy, and they're not living with the same scars and the wounds of the world that I am, so maybe I could have that too. And I don't want y'all to take that for granted. And you're not the only friend group that's like that. I mean, I could talk about the Fab 5 females that sit in the front row. There's so many little clusters of y'all that are influencing those that are coming behind you. And it's a huge deal. So next question, hard question. What was your life actually like before you started taking your life seriously? And what I don't want is an overly churched answer. I want the real and the raw of who Nikki was before you started taking your faith seriously.
Okay. The truth is, I've always believed in God, but I never lived for him. I was doing what a lot of teenagers would do. Not really, but really just try to fit in, doing what everybody else would do. And it got too much to a point where I would be hanging out with the wrong friend group, and we would we'd either be drinking or smoking somewhere, like just a random day throughout the week. And yeah, I knew God, but I didn't personally know him. You know, like faith was just more of a background than the center of my life at the time.
When you were living in the world, of the world, even though, and I know this, man, there's this gray area. Just because someone walks into YTH the first time, everything isn't fixed. Just because someone learns who Jesus is for the first time doesn't fix everything. There's this gray scale of drawing closer and closer to Jesus and trying to fix those things. So what is one struggle or temptation or tension with the world that you've had to constantly battle even after finding your faith? And how has God met you in the middle of that struggle?
I still struggle with living in the world and still trying to fully follow and chase God. Certain conversations, friend groups, and social media are a lot of influences, and they tend to pressure me a lot. And sometimes I'll just let go and I'll just end up doing what the world is. But God has met me with grace, and instead of him pushing me away every time I've done something wrong, he's always pulled me closer to him.
So your friends, before you knew Jesus, I'm sure you still have a lot of those friends now. And there's a great lesson in that, right? Because you went from letting them influence you to hopefully now you are the influence to them. And there's a tension there, right? Because we want to surround ourselves with godly people that look like us, sound like us, believe like us. But if we only surround ourselves with godly people, then how do we reach people that don't know him? So the tension is you always calling them to greater and not letting them pull you down to their level. But even in the moments when they do, God has always met you back there to get back up on that pedestal, right? Even those, and I could say it to you, I could say it to 50 other people. You had a weekend where you let it slip. We have a conversation sometime in the week. Your biggest fear is probably Steve's gonna be disappointed. I might get kicked off the internship. It's all these very tangible real world things. But time and time again, it's, hey man, we make mistakes. You knew it was wrong. Jesus still loves you. Get back up. That's the lesson in all of this, is you are an example to so many of them, as you should be, because I've seen who you were and I know who you are. It makes my heart happy. But even when you slip, God is still there to meet you. Do not quit just because you made a mistake. It is never the wrong time to choose to do the right thing. If this is your first time here and you're like, oh, but I've been doing this thing for so long, what's the difference if I change? It's a difference if you change now. Oh, but I've already given myself away to somebody, so why should I wait till marriage? Because it's never the wrong time to start doing the right thing. And I'm proud of you that even in the hard conversations we've had to have, even in the, hey, I'm calling you out because I'm calling you to greater and I know you have more, you haven't quit, you haven't folded, and you've always continued to chase after Jesus' standard. And I'm proud of you. You're welcome. So, who are some people in this ministry that have changed your life, and what did they do that made such a difference or an impact for you?
Well, there's a lot of people in here that has made a big impact in my life, but the one that sticks out the most is definitely my small groups and you. Not only they would check on me at church, but they would check on me outside of church. If they would know if I'm not myself, if I'm quiet or really just not talkative, they would take their time out of their day just to check on me instead of he got it, but no, but Tony's not here, but he's my small group leader. But me and Tony weren't really the best with relationships. It was bad.
No, let's dig in there a little bit. We don't need to tell the whole story.
Okay, well,
we don't need to tell the whole story. But we'll just say there was baggage.
Yeah.
and tension between Tony and Nikki before Nikki ever came to youth group. We'll leave it at that. And I had the opportunity to sit with you both in a room before your first YTH experience and say, is this something that we both can maturely deal with? And yes, I've had to use that word with adults because I'll get petty. Like I'm there too, I understand that. And the way God works, man, from somebody who wasn't sure if he could be in the same room as you to now being the leader that you are celebrating on stage for helping you the most is such a God story in itself. It's what happens when you take the Bible at its word, take God at his word when he says, pray for your enemies. What you do to the least of these, you do to me. You have a leader who said, not only will I coexist with you, I will lead you. I will be your small group leader. I will be an asset. I will check in on you. I will disciple you. I will love you. And now you have the relationship that you and Tony have when he didn't even know if he could continue to be a leader because of the tension that was existing there. And I'm so thankful that both of you got through that sticking point and you're exactly where you are now celebrating him from stage. So y'all, man, like make some noise for that. That's a big deal. That's a big deal. So I think I cut off your answer a little bit. Were you done yet?
No.
Okay, continue.
Yeah, but yeah, Tony has taught me what it's like to be forgiving and patience. Those two I struggled with. I still struggle with them. And Steve has, ever since I started interning, wouldn't think that I would be pretty close with him. But these leaders, I've had uncomfortable talks with them, and they were pretty hard. But instead of me like just, how do I say this? Instead of just like leaving them to the dust, I guess, they really showed me what it's like to be a man of God. And those two are my greatest examples of why I'm doing this and why I'm still here.
That's good, man. So students, listen up, because this applies to all of you. If your leader cares enough to correct you, you should listen to what they have to say without getting offended. There's a difference between critique and criticism. I like to believe not a single leader here will criticize you, but they will critique you. They will correct you. It is what they are called to do as your small group leader, is to find where you're missing it and speak to you in love about getting back to God's standard. So if a leader corrects you and you feel an offense starting to build, that is the enemy getting a foothold. You need to look that joker, I feel like Brian Case, you gotta look that joker in the eyes and tell him to back off. Because what they're trying to do is sever a relationship that can change your entire future. There's a million times Nikki could have said, I'm done here. I'm tired of getting told what's right and wrong. I'm tired of getting redirected. Let me live my life. Instead, he sat under the weight of wise counsel and leadership, and he is so much better for it. The day that comes when Pastor Tim stops correcting me, I should be worried that I'm about to get fired. Because what it translates to is you're a lost cause and I'm not gonna waste my time trying to correct you anymore. So when he takes the time, or Pastor Steph takes the time to sit me down and be like, hey Steve, here's where you missed it and we need to get better. Thank you. The only correct response in that moment is thank you so much. Thank you so much. No matter how much it hurts, no matter how much you wanna run away, it is thank you so much, because they want what's best for you. And I know all of my leaders' hearts. There's a reason they're in the seat that they're in. Not everybody who wants to be in my youth ministry, I shouldn't say that, in Momentum's youth ministry, gets to be in a seat on the bus. We vet these leaders at a high level because I know where their priorities are. I know where their heart is. So if you have a hard conversation with your leader, thank you so much. How do I get better? And we're not perfect. You can come to us and tell us where we're missing it as leaders too. Some of you have. I receive it well. I think. Better now than I used to. But it is a heart posture of thank you. Thank you for caring enough to call me out. So what has God taught you through pain, disappointment, failure, or seasons where you felt distant from him?
He saw me that he's always faithful, even when we don't feel close to him or we don't feel his presence. When I tore my ACL for the first time, I did nothing but blame them. I did cuss them out. And I got so distanced. Like I distanced myself God, and it was just bad. Like, so that's when I like fell into the worldly stuff. Started hanging out with the wrong friend group. Just old me. And then I got back into church, but this time I was like, I'm gonna take it more seriously. Then I tore my ACL the second time. But instead of blaming him, asking him why this happened or why he did this to me, I took the opportunity to why did this happen for me? And like I stopped having the victim mindset of like all that, and then I took that opportunity and grew stronger with my faith and really just stepped up. And now I'm leading worship, I'm interning, I'm doing a lot for the church, and I'm just really thankful for him. Like I wouldn't be here if what happened to me back then didn't happen.
That's what I was gonna say, man. Like, if you didn't blow out your ACL again, because you're an athlete at heart, I know you're an athlete. If you didn't blow out your ACL a second time, would you be leading worship right now? No. Would you be as plugged into the church as you are? Would you be as close to God or your leaders or your friends as you are? No. You were chasing what you wanted to chase, and God not so gently said, I tried to redirect you once. Don't make me do it again. But what's beautiful, because we have a very similar story there. I've also blown out both my knees a few times. And the first time I blew out my knee and I had to have surgery was the lowest point in my life. I was going through a divorce. I moved with the military down here, had no friends, had no support system. I was alone. It was just a terrible mental state. And when I blew out my knee the second time, immediately my heart wanted to go back to that place of fear. And I'm gonna lose my wife, because that's what happened the first time. I'm gonna lose my purpose, because that's what happened the first time. And Pastor Tim pulled me aside, because I was working for the church when it happened, and I was in tears, because I was like, man, I'm not gonna be able to work or feed my family or this or that. And he said, it's not gonna be the same this time. Sometimes God will bring you back to Bethel to retread scars of old, to show you how much different it can be when God is in the mix. And you saw it firsthand. I'm sure your second blown out ACL felt a lot different than your first one, because you had community, God, friendship, faith, a support system, and it changed your mindset from a victim mentality to, man, what is God trying to teach me? What is God trying to teach me in this season? That's so good, man. I love that. So last question I have for you. When you look at the students sitting in the room right now, especially the younger ones, our rising freshmen, our rising sophomores, what is one thing that you desperately want them to understand before they're in your seat?
Jesus is worth it. Probably like the world and sin, it's all fun, but it's all temporary. It just leaves you empty most of the time. And yeah, just don't wait until you're older to take your faith serious. So yeah, because what you're building right now, your friendships, your relationship with leaders, growth, you will, your future self will appreciate that so much. So
It's good, man. Before I let you off of this stage, is there anything, I call it the last 10%, anything else in your heart, in your mind that you want to share on that microphone for your fellow high schoolers, graduates on down to freshmen before you walk off this stage?
yes, it's never too late to turn to Christ or turn back to Christ. So
I love that, man. Nikki, thank you so much, man. Y'all give it up for Nikki. And now with the last few minutes I have with you, what I want to talk about is the moment when I saw the light switch flip for Nikki. Because Nikki started coming because of his friends. And it was a season where he was coming just because of his friends. And then I saw the moment. I saw the moment where it wasn't for his friends anymore. And I knew that was to be true because his friends stopped coming. Because his friends were only coming because their friends were coming. And I don't know if you know this, but there's a large turnover in youth group. Like we have the faithfuls, we have the 4 years, then we have the people that they're just here for a season. And that's okay, because if all we do here is plant a seed that somebody else waters and somebody else harvests later in their life, like that's biblical. It's in the Bible, there are seasons for that. But when the friend group he came with left, Nicky stuck. His relationships stuck. His faith stuck. And because of that, he's been running the race for 3 years. I think he's in his second or third internship semester. Is that right? Third? Yeah. He's going to camps this summer, not just his own camp, but he's going to lead camps because he fully understands the weight of the calling on his life. Every single one of you, if you have not had that moment, you are somewhere on the yardstick of faith. And what that looks like is if you're at inch 1, God's not real, nothing's real, I have no purpose, I don't understand anything, and I don't care. And the world's gonna give me what it gives me. And then there's that 36th inch where the light switch turns on. That is when you put your faith in Jesus, you decide to follow him for all your days, and you stop living for yourself, and you start living for an audience of one. So if there is anybody in this room that something Nicky said jarred something in you, stirred something in you, and you have decided like, man, today is the day where I make that change. Today is the day where I fully embrace the fact that Jesus Christ died for me. He did it for all, but the truth is he would have done it if it was just for you. That he died on a cross and shed his blood for an opportunity for you to have grace and mercy that you do not deserve, because there is a Father that loves you so much that he wants to have a relationship with you. That is the truth that Nicky subscribed to at some point in his high school career. That is the choice that changed his life, his trajectory, his mindset, his friend group, his work ethic, all because he understood it was so much bigger than him and there was nothing he could do to deserve it or earn it, so he went all in on Jesus. And I could sit up here and I could tell story after story after story. I can hide in the back of the room listening to Annie sing worship while I cry like I did earlier today, because I'm sitting here with Gabby and Patrick, who were some of the first people in my first iteration of youth ministry when this really shy, kind of confused 8th grader named Annie showed up. And now she is on stage leading worship and declaring the name of Jesus. I hear you, Sadie, same boat, different story. This strange, confused middle schooler shows up, doesn't know what she believes, doesn't know which side is up, and now she is here and she is on stage and she is leading her peers and her friends, and another story, and it never gets old because I know it's nothing I could do with a microphone. It is the change that only happens when Jesus gets a hold of your heart. Everybody close your eyes and bow your head. We're gonna pray together, and this prayer alone means little. But this prayer with a shifting of your heart posture means everything. Because this can be the moment where you cross that line of faith, that 36th inch on the yardstick, where you say, I'm going all in for Jesus. And we're not gonna pray alone, we're all gonna pray out loud. And repeat after me, say, Dear Jesus, I know that I'm a sinner. And there is nothing I can do to save myself. I am tired of following the world. I am tired of feeling like I'm not enough. And I am ready to go all in. I believe that you, Jesus, died for me, died for my salvation, and rose again. And as best as I can, I place my trust in you. So I give you my life. I receive your life. Now teach me how to live. In Jesus' name, amen. Everybody eyes open, look up here. I'm gonna count to 3. And if today is that day for you, the day where the light switch flipped, the day when you cross the 36th inch, however you want to describe it, but today is the day that you are choosing Jesus, a relationship with him, and to put all your chips on the table and live for his renown. When I say 3, I want you to raise your hand, and everybody else is gonna cheer, and everybody else is gonna clap, because we are celebrating somebody who came dead in their sin and is leaving alive in Christ. So on the count of 3, put your hand straight up in the air. Everybody else cheer. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Now that's a full circle moment. That's a full circle moment for me. So I'm just gonna cry in my office later. It's fine. It's great. Hey, I love you guys. I appreciate what you have turned this ministry into. I'm just a dude with a microphone. It is you guys inviting, you guys bringing your friends, and you guys that are creating change in your friend group, your team, your school, your community for Jesus. I can't do that. All I can do is equip you to do the work because I've been equipped to do the work. That's all I can do. Next week is invite night. Bring your friends. Bring your friends. There is no small group. It is a bite-sized portion of youth group. There is more worship, there is more game, there's still a message, and there's an opportunity for your friends to give their life to Jesus. Pack this house next Wednesday. I love y'all. It's 8:06. We did pretty good, Nikki. It is 8:06. I love you guys. I appreciate you, and I'll see you next week. Have a good one.